We're back. We made it to the second episode. Clax, we didn't get canceled yet. Top Shelf Network called. We're not going there. I told them we're not going. No matter how much they ask for, we're not going to Top Shelf. Ladies and gentlemen, we got an awesome crew today. As always with me, my sidekick Joey Clax here. He's got light. A lot of people want to know what he looked like after the first episode last week.
Here we are. Here we are.
He's him. But he's here. With me again this last week, LA's finest. He's a little under the weather. We're going to call this his flu game.
I'm sweating. It's not the Rona, I promise, but we'll see what's going on.
It's not the frozen burritos either, he says, but we'll see. Mr. Jonathan Guerrero, welcome back.
Thank you.
And as always, we like to bring some special guests on. This is someone you're going to see a lot on our show. I guess he's a guest. I guess he's like one of our hosts. He's someone special, though, because he was a star on Season 9 of American Ninja Warrior. Very controversial. He didn't win, but in my opinion, he got robbed. He should have won, but whatever. Mr. Jordan Fox, welcome to the show. You know what? You should have been Season 10 and 11 winner, too. They robbed you. I don't like the way they did things. I don't watch the show anymore because of it, just so you know. I'm now on to Beastmaster on Netflix. That's where I'm at.
I'm on to Wipeout. I'm going back to Wipeout.
Ooh, Wipeout.
You've never seen Wipeout?
I have. That's old school. I haven't seen that one. I'm on the floor is lava now. That's where it's at, if you want to know where it's at. But, all right. We're getting sidetracked here already. We haven't even started, and we're getting sidetracked. NBA bubble. I want to start with this. We didn't really hit too much of it last week, and they're about to come back. There's a lot of people still iffy if it's going to work, if the bubble's going to pop at some point. Avery Bradley, a bunch of other players have already, half the New Jersey, the Brooklyn Nets have already basically bailed on this season. What do you think, Jordan? You think this is going to work? You think they're going to finish it? Do you think the favorites are still the favorites?
I think it's going to work. I think they are going to finish it, and I believe defense will definitely be very prominent given this drop-off. But I do believe it's honestly a setup for Kawhi and LeBron. They're built for unorthodox situations like this, and there's a new Melo in town as well. It's Skinny Melo.
Skinny Melo.
Skinny Melo.
Now, how many Melos can you name? How many Melos? There's Team USA Melo.
Olympic Melo, yeah. There is Hoodie Melo.
Yes, Hoodie Melo. There was Heavy Melo when he got a little chubby. I don't know if you remember. They made him power forward Melo. He became Heavy Melo. There's a lot of Melos. I like Skinny Melo, though. I think that team's not going to go anywhere, but I just love that he's
moving back to the 3. I think they might get that A spot.
Over the Pelicans?
Yeah, they're tied with the Pelicans. They are
behind like 3 or 4 teams that are right there.
Yeah, Portland, New Orleans, Sacramento tied, and then a 3.5 behind Memphis.
No Zion right now. He had to leave the bubble.
Right.
He'll be back, though, is what I heard. He'll be back.
He'll be back, but he's going to have to quarantine for multiple days once he's back. Like I said, I don't know. I know.
Melo's back to the 3 now, so it's going to be different.
Do you think any of these teams can upset the top teams?
Oh, no.
Do you think in either conference, do you think any of the LA teams could go out in the first 2 rounds, or do you think Milwaukee or Philly and Boston are going to go out in the first 2 rounds?
Philly might.
Philly might?
Yeah.
I thought you said it's all about defense.
I know, but I don't trust them. They're so inconsistent to me. I don't trust them.
If it's all about defense, does that mean Miami is going to take Milwaukee to the brink?
Yes.
Hot take. Fired up take right there. What do you think, John?
Is Disney World actually open?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so
Disneyland now in California just opened as well.
That's fucking ridiculous, but I don't know. I think basketball has a worse chance of going through the season than you believe baseball is. And as much as I want the Dodgers to win the World Series, I want the Lakers to, but not in this fashion. This is I want to just scrap this year, let's pack it up, and let's do it next year.
But obviously they're not doing that because there's too much money to lose. I mean,
obviously. If it
wasn't about money, they would just be having a playoff right now. But they have to get teams in because they got to hit that 50 number so all the TV rights and everything, that money starts kicking in, that $1 billion contract. That's not forgetting.
You know how obvious it is when they're selling cutouts of people that you can pay $500 for if a ball will hit your fucking head in the stands Like, that's how much they miss people in the crowd. Like, it's bullshit, everything that's going on. And I'm not getting as jaded as you are that the season will not finish. I want to see my Dodgers, but I don't want to see it in this way. And I'm getting a little bit more and more frustrated as it goes on.
I mean, it was fun watching spring training baseball with no people in it. I think basketball is going to be a lot different, though. I think basketball with no people, you're going to hear a lot of squeaking, for one. A lot of squeaking. I don't know if you ever watch high school basketball on TV when there's just squeak, 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 squeak because there's no people in the crowd. They should let the players be mic'd up, which they're not. Same thing with baseball. They're not miking the players. I think that's a huge miss for keeping people into these games when there's no crowd. But the fake crowd noise was lame. And the Mets-Yankees game yesterday, that was lame. The oohs and ahs were kind of cool when they made a good play, I guess. But the boos and the fake boos, I'm not into all that. I do think if they're mic'd up, you can hear what it's really like. And I think that gives you a different experience. The NBA, you're going to hear the players. You're going to hear what they say to the referees.
I don't think you want to know what it's like.
The referees are going to get abused, and they're going to be hitting those tees so fast because they're not going to want to be embarrassed on national TV. And I mean, LeBron goes over and talks to them in their ear and gives them a little bark, or Chris Paul or one of these guys. I mean, I know Rondo's hurt right now, but the things he goes over and says not very quietly, I mean, I don't know. That's a big loss, by the way, for your Lakers. Rondo going out with a broken finger. He's out for, I think the whole season now. That's a big loss.
That's a big loss off the bench.
They're going for him and Avery Bradley out. So, boy, J.R. Smith, they're going to depend on –
Yeah, J.R.
I can't believe that. That's wild.
That's money off the bench, man. That's experience off the bench.
It's just funny, like, what – NBA doesn't work like any other sport ever. Like, I mean, besides what we saw with fucking Tampa Bay with Tom Brady and then Gronk, but like just LeBron goes over and then people will just want to go to LeBron.
Oh, he's got his players that will flock to him for sure. KD will have the same thing in Brooklyn over the next couple of years. I think you're going to see people want to play. But yeah, no, that's what. When you have a sport that it's a 5-man on the court at once compared to baseball that's 9, football, it's 11, it makes a difference. I mean,
JR was there. JR helped LeBron, but it's just like every time I think of JR, I think of LeBron's face when LeBron was just like the what the fuck face. Like, I can't get over that. But I mean, I'm happy he's a Laker. He's a solid veteran. Like, can't be mad about that.
How stupid is this idea of playing the losers bracket in like Ohio or another city that they're talking about? Like, that all the other teams would go play, like, for what? Like, have you heard about this? And most of the teams are like, yeah, we'll go. And then Golden State Warriors said, sure, we'll do it, but we're not sending anybody from our
It's like it's the NBA's NIT championship, man.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. I'm like, it's stupid.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, I can't deal with that. NBA started making me think the other day of some of the biggest busts in sports history. And NBA is where a lot of people think of football and other sports maybe first, but I think of basketball. I think of a couple guys that come to my mind first. But I'm going to let you guys go. Do you have any basketball players, biggest bust of all time? If I had to say biggest bust, Jordan, who do you say first?
So this is post-Jordan era for Chicago. It got pretty ugly, and everyone thought this is kind of like my area, my childhood. And there was this, Chicago high school basketball was big, and there was this center who was just everybody was talking about. Everybody couldn't wait. My man Eddie Curry, and we thought he was going to be the truth. He was going to be the one to really put him back up there, and that did not happen at all.
But who did pick up his salary for 3.5 years? Do you recall?
I don't.
The New York Knickerbockers. Don't you worry. Once he got that $100 million deal, the Knicks picked up his salary. Don't you worry. He was so bad and so fat, they wouldn't even let him – not only would they not let him play, they wouldn't let him sit on the bench. They punished him. They made him sit in the locker room and watch every game. And he had to sit and watch it. For over a year, he just sat and they said, go work out. Go work out. Don't come even out here. Just go work out. Eddie Curry. Ugh. Jonathan, who do you think of?
Basketball's hard. I mean, like –
Is it?
It's
easy.
I mean, because it's not football is very easy to pinpoint who are busts because football very heavily depends on number one draft picks.
I could give you 4 number one draft picks right off the bat of my head. Can I give them to you real quick?
Go ahead.
Well, Kwame Brown.
Oh my God, that was gonna be somebody I brought up because he was a Laker.
You could still bring him up. Michael Olowokandi, number 1 pick for the Clippers. What did he ever do? The number 1 pick. Did he ever average 5 points a game? That's a number 1 7-footer. Okay? 7-footers. Who was picked in front of Kevin Durant? Greg Oden. Okay, his was injury related, but that's a number 1 pick again. Nothing. The dude was a bust. And
that's what.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know. I had my biggest bust of all time in the NBA, and he gets off the hook of every freaking conversation that we have.
No, what pisses me off about Kwame Brown is he had the talent, he just got fucking lazy. He was a lazy piece of shit. I hated him as a Laker.
How can you be lazy with Michael Jordan and then Kobe Bryant? I mean, the 2 big motivators.
Yeah, and the Lakers, I had to deal with that team with the Lakers. We had the worst team ever with Kwame Brown and what's that guy that dated Rihanna? Smush Parker. Yeah. God. Yeah, we had some dark days as Lakers fans. Like Kwame Brown had so much talent. That's probably my number 1 NBA. Just had so much talent. And it's scouted by fucking Michael Jordan. And you bust that because you're a lazy piece of shit. Like,
if you ever want some great Kobe Bryant quotes, go read some of his Smush Parker quotes. The dude buried him so bad he never got picked up by another team after that season.
That team and those eras was terrible.
That was
Jordan Farr, Jordan as like far as like the backup squad, Jordan Farmar is a good bright spot in that team. So that says a lot.
Joe, what do you think?
You stole Kwame Brown from me, so
Is it Kwame for you?
Yeah. That's the biggest one that comes to mind when you say basketball.
I got one bigger for you. More recently too.
Anthony Bennett.
That's the one. 2013. How come this guy gets off the hook? You can go to ESPN, they give you a list, and that guy's not going to be in your top 5. How?
That's number 1, But Kwame Brown's my favorite. He's my favorite.
Yeah, he was in the G League by his second year. Never basically made it again more than 3 points a game in his career. You know who they could have had on that team with that pick instead?
Who's that?
The Greek Freak.
See?
You know who else they could have had? They could have had Rudy Gobert, Victor Oladipo. I mean, it wasn't a great draft. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like depth down to 13. But there's some big stars that you picked Anthony Bennett. Yeah. Okay.
Honorable mention to Ryan Leaf and Johnny Football.
I was just going to say, give me some football.
Yeah.
Give me your football.
I have the best one for football.
Okay, so you got
Arizona.
Wait, hold on. You got Johnny Football and Ryan.
Okay. So Ryan Leaf, but that's just a gimme. So I'm going to take Ryan Leaf off the table because that's just the gimme biggest football bust that there ever was. So nobody's allowed to use Ryan Leaf. I'm pulling that off the table right now. So I'm gonna go with Johnny Football.
Okay.
I feel like people knew what. I feel like
because he had all the potential in the world, right? And what did he do? He shit all over it because of his fucking ego.
What
do you think that was? But I don't think his talent was going to work in the NFL anyways. I think it was self-destructive in a sense.
Not on that team.
Not on that team. Give him the right coach, dude. That kid had the talent, bro. You kidding?
What about the other number 1 pick from Cleveland a couple years before him, Tim Couch? Number 1 overall pick. Number 1.
Oh, Couch.
They brought him in, and they're like, after his first year, maybe you're not really a quarterback. He's the number 1 overall pick. Maybe you're not really a quarterback after all.
So my NBA equivalent to NFL squandering their talent coming to Arizona, Mr. Matt Leinart squashed his career because he's just wanted to fucking party and do whatever he wanted. That is my biggest NFL bust.
That's a good one.
He was supposed to be fucking a champ, and he just flopped.
See,
I got one for you, but let's see what Jordan says.
I don't really think he was ever that good. How can
Matt Leinart, Heisman Trophy winner?
What me?
Heisman Trophy winner Matt Leinart?
Yeah.
What
It
about,
wasn't
what about two-time Heisman Trophy winner?
I don't know.
Two-time Heisman Trophy winner.
I forgot the second one. Yeah. So Jordan, I'm sorry. How was he not ever that good?
In terms of being able to change a team, no.
That's gonna be a hot take. That's a hot take.
There's athletes around him. How do you not succeed? And then you go to Arizona. Who does he have?
I mean, if you think about that whole USC quarterback thing, it was Carson Palmer was like the peak, and then what? Leinart, Matt Barkley, with Sanchez, the butt fumble guy in between. But it didn't really go that well for USC quarterbacks in the NFL. Let's be real.
Right.
Carson Palmer did well, but I mean, other than that, I don't know. They didn't really succeed. What about Jamarcus Russell? You don't think that's the biggest bust?
I don't know about the biggest. I don't know
NFL
about the biggest.
bust?
He's
I
a
wouldn't
bust.
say the biggest. Yeah, not the biggest NFL bust.
I mean,
Top 10.
Top
10.
What did he do? He got $58 million signing bonus, and I don't think he won 4 games. Yeah, and he gained at least 150 pounds from when he was drafted till he retired. So and then another 100 once he retired. So I don't know. Hey, what about, a sport that's really hard to judge busts is baseball, because so many top picks just don't even make it to the majors. I can name 3 or 4 in the last 10 years, and you won't even know who they are because they never got called up.
That's what's hard. That's what's difficult with baseball. Like I love, I love baseball to death. I don't pay attention to the draft. When the draft comes around, I have a friend that works at the front office at the Diamondbacks, and she was like, "Oh, the draft is today," and I'm like, "I don't care because it doesn't matter."
There's a draft?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Who the fuck cares, dude?
I finally got into it to start caring about deeper AAA, AA clubs, where it matters what who's developing well. In baseball, the draft, I don't baseball bus. I don't think we're gonna find anything.
Can I give you a theory based on what you just said? I was talking to someone yesterday who totally put me down for this, but I think this is what baseball needs to do to become better. Commissioner Wasserman here says you get rid of all the minor leagues but AAA. No more single A, double A, minor league, none of that. That becomes independent baseball. You could have travel leagues. You just have a AAA. It got to be like the NBA where you have a G League. You have one minor league team. Having 3 levels, that's like a slavery ownership thing where you're owning these kids that are 16 years old from the Dominican Republic, making them make $20,000 a year playing baseball, and they're happy because they've got a gig and they think this is great, but no, it's not great. They should be able to make more money, and baseball shouldn't have 150 people they're holding on to in each organization that don't get to have a chance to come up pretty much. So I say AAA, you could draft 4 rounds every year. And I know there's all these colleges, all the international picks. You take who you want. You make AAA something special. And independent baseball would become something in this country. I really do think small towns that don't have Iowa, the Dakotas, places where they have minor league baseball, Buffalo, there's minor league baseball.
The Dodgers are in Oklahoma. Nobody cares about Oklahoma. I completely agree with that.
Keep the team. I'm not saying get rid of the teams. Keep the leagues, but don't have them affiliated with teams in baseball. Let them trade amongst themselves, and then they could get cherry picked to AAA, which is one step before going to the majors. This will also eliminate something that I hate in baseball, which is what's also keeping baseball from growing, which is, we have to put people in the minors for 3 years because of contract status, and then we have to keep them for the first 2 weeks the next year. And to me, it's a bogus thing that the owners got in the collective bargaining. I get it. But it needs to stop because baseball doesn't need to have a 38-year-old Robinson Cano playing second base. They should have the 21-year-old Jimenez come up and play for the Mets. But they can't because, we could keep him and own him for 3 extra years if we keep him in the minors for this year. And we'll keep the old man on the roster. And I'm about, you want to keep the old man on the roster, that's why you're bringing the DH in now. I get it. You can extend some of these older guys. You're keeping them in there. But baseball, it's kind of like WWE wrestling right now. You have a lot of fans that have been there forever. And they're still fans. But you're not getting the new ones in. And what's happening is you're not growing and you're actually shrinking. And I see baseball doing that. And there's ways you have to do things.
And baseball, sorry
No,
to cut you off. Baseball's doing it in the wrong way. They're trying to like make rule changes that like are not being a benefit to the sport.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Something I got a couple of rule changes here. I want to ask you guys about. What do you think of these? I'm going to go one at a time, and we're going to go in a circle and tell me what you think. Relief pitchers have to pitch to minimum 3 people now. No more one and done. Jordan, is that good or bad?
Good.
They want to speed up the game. You think that's good? What about you, John?
No.
Bad?
I let the game play as it is. I don't like. There's no reason to. Baseball is not meant to like. I think people most people like who don't like baseball say it's long and boring. Then they're not a fan. That's fine. But let the game play out as it should.
Joe, what do you think?
You don't like baseball, don't fucking watch baseball. If I want to fucking pitch to one guy, I'm bringing in a guy to pitch to one fucking guy. This is the game. What, are we going to change the rule for the postseason? And was that the rule for the postseason? Fuck that, dude.
No, that's the rule for the whole season now.
Yeah, fuck that.
Now, if you disagree with that, I'm sure you would disagree with the next one. Joe, I'm going to start you off with, starting in the 10th inning now, there's a runner on second base.
No.
No way.
No.
So
that's such a. Now, why don't you put the ball on a tee, man?
Yep. So all these have been implemented this year. So now, I mean, did you really need to go home that fast? Okay, so there's a man on second base. So that means every team should have like a 99 MLB The Show guy, speed-wise, on your bench, just to put it second.
And everybody is going to have somebody like that. Once the team start carrying 26 guys, they're going to have a speedster. Everybody is going to have somebody who bats 210 and has 40 stolen bases.
They're just going to come out and play the field.
Exactly.
And run the bases.
Exactly.
What about
it's taking out the most exciting thing about extra innings. Like, yeah, we're tired and we're watching. The people that care want to watch who's going to fucking dug it out and fucking win this game. Like,
but you want to make the game that interesting that you can only carry 26 guys and 25 of them matter, but that one guy has to be this little speedster, right? But your reliever has to pitch to 3 guys because you want to speed the game up. It doesn't make sense to me.
We should put that. If that's the rule, we should put the heaviest guy on the team on second base every time. Albert Pujols has to run from second.
I like that rule.
From second to fourth. Like,
what
the fattest guy on your team.
The other team gets to pick who runs for the other team?
Yeah.
I want the catcher, and he has to wear his shin guards.
Yes, only catchers. The catcher starts on second base.
What about what the minor leagues were doing this year? It hasn't started with MLB, but I'm going to tell you, I am a 100% backer of this one. Robot umps behind home plate calling balls and strikes.
It's been a long time coming. I think it needs to happen. The umps are so – I think that's what's holding back baseball a lot is the bad umping. It's like unquestionable. You go to YouTube, Google bad umping. You can be distracted for 100 hours because they're terrible. Like have the box zone, have it relayed into the ump's ear behind the plate, and that's it. We're done. There's no questions.
I mean, I think it's the only thing that's not reviewable, so why not have it right?
Right. Have the box, have it the throw where it is, and have it a mic from the ump ear, and then that's it.
And I like that there can be bad calls of out and safe because of human error. I mean, I like that. But the problem is with pitching and hitting right now, which I don't think people talk about as much. I was talking to my wife about this. Back when, like, Babe Ruth was playing, these guys didn't throw curveballs and sliders that move like they do today. They didn't throw a slider coming in at 92. Their sliders
but
at 80.
There's video review for all those other ones. Why isn't there video review for the actual things that count the most? At the bat or at the plate?
Because they're too sensitive, the umpires. They don't like them.
Right. They're going to be out of a job. Joe West can go fucking
No, they're not out of a job. That's the misconception. Their big fat bodies will still be standing there. They'll be saying strike one or ball one. It'll just be telling them what to do. They don't get to make the decision of which one they do. And I think that's
so it's more ego. And they have to call like slides at home.
Ego. It's all ego. It's all ego. That's the way I look at it. I got a couple questions about baseball right now. They seem to – we watched Mets and Yankees clash yesterday, right? That was kind of exciting.
It was like Christmas.
What are your thoughts about fake sound in the crowd?
Oh, my God. I like the fake sound because there's nobody in the crowd. Okay? So I appreciate them pumping the sound into the stadium. However, watching a 3-run home run, and hearing the crack of the bat, the announcer get excited about it, and then nothing is just the most awkward thing. And then the cardboard cutouts just sitting there. It's just the most awkward thing in the world. And I guess there's nothing you could do about it, right? But it's just it is what it is, and I guess it's part of the new normal, right? But
there's going to be a future clack attack about cardboard cutouts.
There's going to be after I pay $500 and have a clack attack about my $500. But so to answer your question, I appreciate them pumping the sound into it. It's just into the stadiums, but it's just awkward, man.
What do you think, John?
I'm gonna watch the Dodgers Diamondbacks later today, and we'll see how it is. And I didn't know that they were doing like spring training games, but Mookie's, everybody, like the Dodgers lineup tonight. I got a notification from the MLB app. Like all our starters are starting tonight, so I'm interested to see how it is.
What do you think, Jordan? Are they going to do it for basketball too?
I believe they are. And actually, soccer's been back for a couple weeks now. I've been watching a lot of Premier League, so I was kind of like conditioned to like they're pumping the crowd sound in, and like their screens are Zoom chats from like the fans. So I was actually assuming that MLB would do the same thing, but then I saw cutouts, like cardboard behind the home plate, and
but they did last night. They did a Zoom.
Doing a Zoom call while he's driving.
Yeah, they did a Zoom call last night with Dave Roberts in the car, and he was eating French fries. That's all I know.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that. But outside of the Zoom calls, I'm down with pumping out the crowd.
So, Ethan and Clax, on the crowd noise, is it like somebody like playing like, so if somebody cracks the bat, they cheer? If somebody like tries to pick a guy off, they boo?
No. It's basically just it's like them pumping white noise into like a practice. It's basically them just pumping crowd noise in the entire time.
You hear like people talk, like it's like like banter sound.
So there's no emphatic raise of volume when the ball's hit.
No, someone made an error and they were like, oh. Like they had the crowd do that, and I was like,
yeah, I feel like they have enough money to do that. Let's fucking do it. Like, have somebody play with emotions there. Just like, hey.
Yeah, and all the sounds are coming from MLB The Show, from the crowd reactions in the game. They're just literally pumping those sounds out, which I think.
God, what a timeline we're living in right now.
I don't know. Like I said, I still don't see how it's going to work. I mean, Clint Frazier hit a home run wearing a mask yesterday, which was awesome, by the way. That to me, I'm like, I never want to cheer for Yankees. The last time I cheered for a Yankee was when Darryl Strawberry hit a home run, like his last at bat as a Yankee. I was like, going crazy. And anytime Doc Gooden pitched, I cheered. And after that, I haven't cheered for the Yankees since the late 90s. And dude, Clint Frazier hit a home run in a mask. I looked at Joe like, oh man, I kind of, all right, let's go. I don't care. It's preseason. I'm allowed to do this right now. I don't know. I don't see how, like in Arizona, the people can't even go into the stadium more than 50 people at a time. There's 2 teams with 25. How are you even going to play a game right now? You can't legally. So league starts.
I wonder. So is this game tonight? It probably has to be in LA.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's in LA. I don't understand, but I just hope they can play. I think it's kind of cool. I don't care that there's no crowd. It really doesn't change it for me. Clack, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
You're ready for it?
I'm ready for it. It's time.
All right. Let's talk about some things here. We're going to talk about some things. Talk about some things.
Here we go.
All right.
Next week we're going to have theme music for the Clack Attack, by the way.
Yeah, we will get to that.
It's going to have a theme jingle.
So let's talk about some Clack Attack things, right? Let's talk about Rashard Deontay Holmes, center for the Sacramento Kings.
I heard he was hungry.
Yeah, this dipshit, right? This dipshit trying to blow up the bubble. This dipshit. Apparently he's trying to pop the bubble. He's trying to go out and get himself some kind of food delivery. I don't know how you go out. This is the story I heard, is he was trying to get himself food delivery. I don't know what you need to leave the fucking bubble to go get yourself some food delivery, right? And the only thing that I'm hoping, the only thing that would make sense to my fat ass is if he was going out to get himself maybe a 7-layer burrito, because they're discontinuing that shit at Taco Bell. But no, I don't even know. They're not even saying what he went out to go get, right? Meanwhile, from to my understanding, he's not even the only dipshit that has left the bubble. So what I'm understanding, Dwight Howard tried to leave the bubble?
Dwight Howard, they used the snitch line. Someone called the snitch line on Dwight Howard.
The snitch line. Tell me about the snitch line. I've been hearing about the snitch line.
The snitch line was put together that only people that can call it are players. No coaches, no trainers. Only the players could snitch on each other. And apparently Dwight Howard was caught walking around without a mask on. And his answer was, I'm in the bubble with all the people that are tested every day with me. None of us have it. Why do I need to wear a mask in the bubble? Isn't that the whole point of the bubble? And
it's not a bad argument.
And that's where we're at before the season has even started. Welcome to the bubble, Dwight Howard.
Clack, I do want to say thank you for mentioning fucking Taco Bell ruining their fucking menu. God damn it. They're assholes for doing this.
Breaking my heart. It's the only thing that would make sense, that would make it acceptable for this dipshit to leave the bubble for food. Like, imagine the kind of food that they have in the bubble. Now think about this, right? You're in the bubble. It's the NBA. It's fucking Disney, right? Haha, like they are covered in this place. Totally fucking covered. Come on, bro. And who are you? You're not even the man, bro. It's the fucking Kings, dude.
A team that will not make the playoffs. They shouldn't even be there. But
they shouldn't even. What were they? The 22nd team to make the bubble.
And he's 7 foot. It's kind of hard to hide, isn't he? He's a big guy. That guy, isn't he? Center.
Come on, bro. Come on, dude. Yeah. What a fucking dipshit. That's the only word I have for this guy is dipshit.
But he's the one who got caught. How many others have already done it and didn't get caught?
Plenty. I'm sure plenty. And probably most of them, are better players.
I got a question for you, Joey Clax. Being the sound engineer, producer that you are in your other life, there is rumors that there's a huge music studio in the bubble by Dame Dollar, Mr. Damian Lillard, and he's putting out tracks and putting out some diss tracks. Are you excited for this or what?
I can't wait. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight now that that's been confirmed.
Did he bring his producers with him? That's the question. Are they in the bubble with him?
Well, what else? What else are they going to have to do? I mean, I'm sure, because I'm sure Damian Lillard's smarter than to go out and get fucking food. So I'm sure he did.
Will Carmelo get on a single with him? That's the real question in the bubble.
I hope so. I love Melo. I hope so.
Slow and steady, Melo.
I hope so. I love Melo.
Do you love Melo just because he had a short-term time with the Knicks?
Short-term?
I don't know. It was short-term. It's the last time my Knicks were worth a damn. So
that was
he was there when Amari was there, right? I thought that was like going to be their time.
Get something straight here. How many? And I'm going to come out and tell you how much I love Carmelo right off the bat. But how many people in the last 37 years I've been alive have demanded a trade to the Knicks?
Yeah.
How many? At the time being a top player.
Literally zero.
No one. Yeah.
And then he did it knowing that he was giving up max player money from staying with the team he was on. I mean, he gave up about $40 million to do that deal. He did.
Well, he was on the Nuggets then, right?
Yeah, if he would have stayed one more year, he would have got the supermax equivalent back then. And instead, he came to the Knicks, took about 40 or 50 million less, then took a full deal. And everyone's like, "Oh, why did he take a pay cut?" He did take a pay cut. He came to the Knicks, and got abused by Phil Jackson and Dolan and all those people there. 6 or 7 years.
I thought D'Antoni was the coach then.
D'Antoni too. He went through a lot of coaches. He probably went through Mike Woodson. He went through over there.
Well, that's why Amari went to the Knicks, because D'Antoni.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
So speaking of dipshits, right?
Yeah, keep going, Clark. Sorry.
Speaking of dipshits, Daniel Snyder, right? How many ways can somebody fuck up an organization, right? To be smart enough to get to the top of your game to be able to buy an organization, that's one thing. But how many ways can you fuck up an organization? Let me count the ways.
Oh.
Okay.
Spit some poetry.
Is it two?
Let me see. We have to change the team name. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we could change it to Red Tails. We could change it to the Airmen. We could change it to the Warthogs. Oh, that guy who buys real estate for a living already bought up all the names. It's like the fucking guy who decided to buy WarrenSapp.com so Warren Sapp couldn't buy the fucking name from him. And then made Warren Sapp pay fucking $50,000 to buy the fucking website from him. That's how fucking stupid this guy got fucking duped Warren Sapp. This fucking real estate guy duped the fucking guy Daniel Snyder who owns the fucking Redskins. And then to top it off, when you think this dipshit couldn't get any dumber, oh, guess what? Every fucking woman who's walking around the place has been getting her ass grabbed for fucking years. I'm sorry. You know what? Everybody in the world is protesting for fucking injustice in the world. Meanwhile, every woman in this guy's office is getting her ass grabbed. What a fucking moron.
So twofold on this is I grew up in California in my Pop Warner Football League. So I grew up in a little town called Whittier, California, and we were the Whittier Redskins. And this sucks overall. Like, this should have been changed a long time ago. And now that we're in this culture that they're doing it now, it's pathetic now that they're doing it now. It should have been changed a long time ago.
Totally. This is old news, man. This is an old story.
It's only happening because FedEx and Nike said we're taking away $640 million.
Yeah, well, maybe when Nike stops using slave labor, they can have a voice. Nike can go fuck themselves.
True. Good point.
How you really feel.
Sorry. Anyways, so throw it back to you guys. So we'll start with Ethan since you're on my top right. What would be a good name for the Washington team?
I think DC is a hard place because the only thing that you think about DC is politics, and like you have the Capitals and you had the Senators and you have the Nationals, and like those names are all whack to me. I mean,
the Washington capitalisms.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I think you should go something completely outside the box. Go with some sort of weird animal. Maybe make up a name that doesn't even exist. Make it like Marsupilami or something. I don't know.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for people to take because it's not going to be. You hear Washington Redskins. It's been all of our lives. We've heard that.
That's horseshit though. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when I grew up, who did Chris Webber get? Who did he play for? The Washington
Bullets.
The Bullets. And all of a sudden, the next year they were the Wizards. And after 30 days, you stopped calling them the Bullets, and they became the Wizards.
You know, football is very, very white. Football is very, very white.
It's very racist. Very white. Yes, I agree. But what I also know is I don't have a lot of college teams I cheered for growing up. Right. The only local team to me was St. John's. When I grew up, do you know what they were called? They were called the Redmen. The St. John's Redmen. And then when I was like 12, 13, someone's like, yeah, that's pretty racist. You probably shouldn't do that anymore. And the next year they became the Red Storm.
Maybe they could actually look at a tribe that was in Washington.
No, stay away from tribes. Stay away from
No, but like name it after the actual tribe.
No,
like
you're asking like the Braves are not changing their name, but the Braves give millions of dollars to like certain tribes and they work with them and they're going to, they have to stop doing the chop. They already said they're going to probably stop doing that because it's kind of, it gives me nightmares back to the late 90s and Chipper Jones and Greg Maddox.
But you don't think it's like acknowledging, like we're acknowledging that they exist, like we're here.
I think in sport we don't need to not like do it on the side. At this point, you've done your damage when it comes to the natives. Let's move on to something that was just happy.
Okay. All right. So you didn't give a good name, Clack. What would your Washington name be?
It's a tough one. I mean, if it's copyrighted names, I think they're good. I think the Red Tails was a decent name, with the whole fighter pilot thing that they had going on. I also think that the Washington Warriors works. I also think that something amusing, but I also think works, was actually keeping the name Washington Redskins and just changing the logo to a potato. But,
I saw that.
But, to be honest, I think Washington Warriors, that works for me.
I'm Warriors.
Jordan?
I'm Warriors all the way.
That's a good one. Washington Warriors. I can rock that.
Yeah,
and you guys go Jordan. Sorry.
And you can keep the logo.
I don't know about the logo, but
No.
like definitely keep the.
You could keep the semblance of the logo. You don't have to manipulate it that much.
Colors if you want. Keep the colors, but that's about all.
Right.
Keep that. Change it up, man. That franchise hasn't won anything in the last.
Well, that's the bottom line, right? They're not going to win anything, so it doesn't matter.
No, but it's like you're not like you're. It's not like the Patriots. If the Patriots all of a sudden had to change their name and their logo, they have a tradition over the last 20 years. The Giants, the Cowboys, they at least have tradition. The Redskins, like they could just become an expansion team now, and they're probably better off starting over, to be honest.
Well, the Patriots would just steal another one.
No, I said what about Ron Rivera?
Man.
What? What did I say about Ron Rivera?
It'd be different.
It will. Ron Rivera will turn that shit around. He will.
And it's an awful division, so there isn't much like to.
Oh, I agree. I say it should be a clean slate is what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. Forget about the past. They should just start now, and it'll be good. I think they have a good foundation if they start from now. Let's forget about the last 25 years of mayhem. And all right, I got one more topic I want. Actually, Clax, keep going. You got more clack attacks.
All right, yeah, really quickly. One last dipshit. My boy Domingo Herman.
Oh, Mr. I'm retiring, and then
No. Let me get it straight. I've left baseball. Thanks, everyone.
That's like saying you're signing off Facebook. Like, I'm not coming back here, guys.
What do you go? 16-4, 18-4 last year. I mean, you know what? And then he beats the shit out of his wife. I want to say he wasn't going to play anyway. But what a fucking cop out.
63 more games he's suspended. It's a 60-game season. He's not playing this year.
Fucking cop out, man.
And then he came back and said, you misinterpreted me. I'm not retiring.
Whatever. Here's how I feel about it. Fuck you, Domingo. Get off my team.
Yep, he should go play with Roberto Osuna somewhere else. He should go to the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
The trash shows?
Go to the Astros where you belong.
Are they the trash shows or the Asterisks? How are we referring to them? That bullshit team.
Yeah, that bullshit. The Trastros.
The Houston Asterisks. Whatever.
I got a question, John. We were talking at some point during the week about the best players not to win a championship because there's all these Michael Jordan documentaries, and we're watching winner after winner. And you start watching all the guys in the NBA that didn't get to win because of him, the Patrick Ewings, Karl Malone, and John Stockton. By the way, John Stockton, top 3 point guard of all time.
How are you missing Charles Barkley right now? Charles Barkley, Sean Kemp, and Gary Payton on that team. I mean, you could go down the list, but who do you got as your best players to not win a championship? For right now, since we're on the topic, I will say that Clayton Kershaw, if we don't win and he retires without a ring, will be the biggest robbery of all time. Clayton Kershaw deserved that in 2017, and we got robbed. But people that actually happened to are the best players that actually didn't. Ty Cobb, number one. Barry Sanders, Barry Bonds, a whole lot of berries in this. I don't know. The list goes on. You said Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, Karl Malone, who I hate. He's a piece of shit in person, but I don't know. I feel like the Hall of Fame actually acknowledges people that were great that didn't win championships. So, but my number one hope is that Clayton Kershaw actually does get a ring before he retires.
So you think who's your number one? You name like
my number one, a person who deserves a ring that didn't get one was Ty Cobb.
Okay, how about someone in the last 100 years?
Okay, Barry Bonds. Probably Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds? I mean, that's the best baseball player in the history.
Oh, no. If you want to go football too, Randy Moss.
That's a good one.
He lost to you guys. He was there. He was on the undefeated Patriots team when your Giants beat him.
No, they're not undefeated. It was 18-1. Let's get that straight.
All right, they were undefeated until they played the Giants.
And who was the MVP of that Super Bowl?
Eli?
I just love hearing that. Sorry. Okay, yeah. Every time someone's going to be hating on Eli when he gets the first ballot Hall of Fame in a few years, I just wanted you to say it out loud. Okay, that's cool.
Anyways, we know Randy Moss is an amazing player. He deserved a championship. So
you think that football player is the one who is the best football player.
That's the one that Barry Sanders is really good. I don't know.
Sanders didn't even win a playoff game, I don't think.
But you're in a question Barry Sanders
No,
his stats?
Barry Sanders lost an NFC Championship game.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, yeah. I was young kid.
91.
What's your answer, Joey Clax? Who's your best player to not win a championship?
So I got my runner-up is Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, great pick.
All right.
Wait, that's a runner-up?
That's my runner-up.
That's mind-blowing.
630 home runs, 284 career batting average. Ken Griffey Jr. And for the record, Ralph Wiggum Jr. picked him for his baseball team. Ken Griffey Jr.
400 stolen bases, too.
So very, 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 very.
10 gold gloves.
It was a photo finish, by the way.
How many other players have a video game based off themselves? So
Exactly. And speaking of video games,
Frank Thomas backyard baseball.
And speaking of video games, and he never won a championship, Ken Griffey, right? And speaking of video games, the number one video game.
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Yeah, we were just talking about him, dude. You can guess.
No, go.
Barry Sanders. We were just just talking about Barry Sanders.
Barry had a video game named after him?
No, dude, Tecmo Bowl, bro. 15,000 career yards, bro. And like I said, 91, lost in the NFC Championship game. But come on, if anybody ever deserved to have a ring on their finger, is that guy. I remember when he retired and being so upset. And being upset about Thanksgivings without watching him scamper Thanksgiving.
He's the only reason the Detroit Lions matter at all.
That was it. That was it.
Yeah.
You can say the same thing about Dan Marino, can't you? It's the only reason why anyone watched the Dolphins for over
Totally.
Dan Marino was another one. Another one that didn't get a ring. Yeah.
Yeah, he had every record. What do you think, Jordan?
So my three were Dan Marino, Stockton, and Griffey. And I gave it to Stockton, honestly, because when you look at his numbers, it's just ridiculous. Like the things that he did and the drop off from that is just insane.
Do you remember Jordan and I did some beta testing of this show almost like a year ago at this point. And one of our debates was top 5 point guards of all time. And I came out with John Stockton number 1. And you came out with John Stockton number 1.
Yeah.
And I thought there was no way in hell anyone else would do not Magic Johnson but look at the numbers. He had the most assists and the most steals. When you look at basketball, there's 5 categories people look at: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. He had the record in 40% of them. No one else.
But when you look at those teams, though, you look like from like what you remember. You remember John Stockton, Karl Malone, like Kobe, Shaq. Like those are like 2 guys that were on fire, and it's crazy. I just think they didn't get a team built enough around them to win a championship. But those guys were. Even though Karl Malone's a piece of shit, he
didn't have a team to build a championship. Do you know the Utah Jazz for the 1990s, the 10 years, had the best winning percentage of any team in the NBA?
Yeah, but did they have anything to show for it?
No, they were Michael Jordan that kind of got in the way. Now, they made it to 2 finals, and plowed through up into Jordan, and then Brian Russell, and all that. The Last Dance, you saw what happened.
Hornacek is a great player too. I forgot about that guy.
No, he's not. Horrible coach for the Knicks. He sucked.
Hornacek?
Yeah, Hornacek sucked.
He could drop threes when needed.
All right, so some football players I think should get an honorable mention. If we're talking about running backs, what about LaDainian Tomlinson? I think he's one of the most underrated players. He retired top 5 in basically every stat that he could at that point. NBA players, we talk about the Karl Malones and those guys, but what about my man Allen Iverson? No love for that guy.
AI, yeah.
He didn't get a little love. You gotta give him a little love. Charles Barkley gets all the recognition as being like the Lowe's and Ewing, but no one talks about AI. That guy is 6 foot. He never had a squad. He went to the finals with who was his number 2 and 3? Eric Snow and who?
Also,
Mutombo.
Go Clay.
And Mutombo on Philly. Who remembers that run?
Also was great in video games, Allen Iverson.
He was quick.
AI, though his legacy is through his game and his style. It's a lot of players. If you watch a lot of players, they mimic it. And also, I'm glad that they lost to the Lakers, but that's fine. But
is that when
I'm sorry to Rob.
When he walked over Tyronn Lue?
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
He stepped over him, hit that three, and stepped over. But you know what was better? See, people forget. Like that series was whack. It was great if you're a Lakers fan, but as a series, it was nothing to watch. The series before, Vince versus AI.
Oh yeah.
That 7-game series was amazing. And
Vince Carter.
Oh yeah. Yes. Oh boy, he took it he had that game-winning shot when he went to his graduation that day, and they gave him all this crap about he should be practicing, and instead he went to walk down the aisle, the stage, and it was what a series that was. That was nuts.
I want to express. Sorry, Jordan, cut you off. I'll let you have this. But AI. I think even though he didn't win a championship, his style was very represented. He's well respected. I think he's one of the players that didn't get a championship that still is has something to be proud of. His game he brought cool swag to the game. Swag, as the kids would say.
We were talking before about Skinny Mello, and you know what I forgot, Jordan? Another biggest bust ever. Who was taken right in front of Skinny Mello? Right between LeBron and Skinny Mello, there was someone taken. His name was Darko Milicic.
Oh.
First of all, biggest bust. Imagine Melo went to that championship Pistons team.
Right.
Just saying. That's another bust. I don't know why that just came to my mind. I was just thinking, wait, Skinny Melo, Darko. Okay.
But, Jordan, what were you going to say about Melo before I cut you off? Sorry.
It wasn't Melo. It was,
Melo. I'm only talking about Melo.
I mean, AI.
Actually, AI is actually the reason why there's the dress code, for one. What he was wearing and all that style you're talking about, that's why they had to, somewhat of a dress code. And then also practice, that famous quote where talking about practice, really not a game, but practice. But no, his two guy was Aaron McKee. That's who it was.
Aaron McKee. Eric Snow and Aaron McKee. Give me a banana. Do you remember? I can even tell you the backup from Matumbo was Matt Geiger. Remember that guy?
Yes. Oh, wow. Yes. You can do anything with Shaq.
Yeah. That guy was great. What a scrub team. He took that scrub team to the final. That might be the worst team to ever go to the finals. That he took that scrub team to the finals. Maybe after the 99 Knicks, that team was pretty awful.
Worse than the Nets with Kidd and Kittles?
That team was nice. Kittles.
Against the Lakers, though? Really?
Keith Van Horn. Kenyon Martin. Come on, that's a squad back then. That team went to the finals back-to-back. You can't be bad to go to the finals back-to-back. They went 2 years in a row.
And then do what with it?
Oh, they got Kobe and Shaq. What do you expect? That's what happened back then. I mean, they wiped the floor with the whole East. That was a fun team, man. It was hard being a Knicks fan back then when you had a team from New Jersey. That was fun to watch.
Wait, it's hard being a Knicks fan back then?
I was gonna say.
Or just of all time.
Always different reasons it's hard to be a Knicks fan. At that point, it was hard because of the Nets. Now, it's not really hard. I'm just not a Knicks fan. I'm not a Knicks fan right now. I'm a fan free agent in basketball. I gave up on the Knicks after last year.
Come over to the Lakers. It's fine. We'll accept you.
I'm not a front runner. I don't really dance with the Lakers.
A front runner. We put our work in. We're not a front runner.
Your team would be the first team to be, if you said who the Yankees of.
I know because of LeBron, but I mean I don't know. I guess I'm biased because I lived through the shit years. The
shit years, you had 6 bad years in the last 50. Give me a break. Shit years of the Lakers. Your shit years are still making the playoffs. Except for this 3 or 4 year run at the end of Kobe's thing. Every year was great. I mean, give me a break. You went to 6 finals in get out of here. I can't even.
Yeah, we still made the playoffs when Kwame Brown was on our team.
Joe, you want to talk about shit years? We're Nick. Give me shit years with the Lakers. Nick Van Exel and those squads. Those were your shit years with Eddie Jones.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't
take those all day.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we're so good at winning in LA. Sorry.
Yeah, so good. How many chips do the Dodgers have? Oh, yeah.
Oh, you want to go back to baseball and insult my Dodgers who were robbed in 2017? That ring should be all the Astros rings should be thrown in a fire and burned. Fuck the Houston Astros.
You know what the problem was? The greatest player that never won a championship choked. That was what happened back then.
Are you talking about Clayton Kershaw?
Yeah.
He was overpitched, and go fuck yourself. Class. God damn it. No. Anyways,
I want to make the first bet of the year on All Fired Up. I'd like to make the bet with Jonathan. I'd like to take the field over the Dodgers winning the World Series again this year, because I could just want to basically say the Dodgers aren't going to win. John, are you willing to take that bet that your Dodgers are going to win?
What are the odds?
I'll give you 64-1 on that. Those are good odds.
So if I bet $10, I win
we're
$6,400.
not betting money. We're betting food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you win 640 hot dogs.
Do you guys think so? We're playing the Astros in the second series. How many beans do you think they're going to be, or do you think we're going to be? I think Dodgers are too classy, but if Alex Wood is pitching, I think he's going to bean somebody.
You know, they called Mike Piazza classy when he got a bat thrown at him by Roger Clemens, and he didn't know what to do with it. It's not classy. It's called being a bitch. Man up. Put on your big boy pants. If you want to hit somebody, hit somebody. But I'll tell you the truth. No one is going to really be talking about the Astros and that scandal this year. I've been telling Jonathan this for months and months. And this whole now break and everything, it's 60 games. There's going to be 30 stories that are going to be bigger than the Astros scandal that we're going to be talking about. And I don't think it's that big a deal. I didn't think it was the biggest deal when it happened. And I really don't
it wasn't your team that got fucking robbed, so it's not a big deal to you.
It has nothing to do with being my team. His team, Joey Clack's team, got robbed too.
Yeah, it should have been all-time Yankees versus Dodgers 2017 non-cheating team World Series.
But it wasn't. Because
we'll get back to normal baseball next year.
Because the catcher decided he didn't want to change up the signs. You know, the catcher just changed up the signs. You know, Clayton Kershaw threw a curveball that maybe they knew it was coming, but if he threw a good enough curveball,
even if he changed the signs, they had the camera. They could pick up in an inning or two. That makes no difference.
Makes a difference to me. If it's a good curveball, it shouldn't be hit.
You can change signs every fucking inning? That's unrealistic. And you know that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Why can't be the first inning, the one be the fastball, and the next inning, one be a curveball, and then the next inning, one be the slider, and then the next
you don't think there's no way to pick up on that throughout the game?
I mean, I'm sure there's a way, but both teams can pick up on it if they want.
There is a way. If you have a camera pointing at the fucking catcher, there's a way.
There is. You're right. But I still don't think. I mean,
shut the fuck up.
You're a Dodgers fan. Like I said,
Altuve.
I think the worst thing about the whole scandal is, if you want me to be a homer, the way it affects me as a Met fan is we lost our manager. We lost.
Yeah, because he's a fucking cheater too. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy is right.
But who's in the opening day starting lineup for the Astros?
Hey, how about A-Rod being your fucking owner? So sleep with that.
Oh my God, I pray every day that A-Rod becomes the owner of the Mets. Oh
A-Rod and J-Lo. J-Lo is going to be your fucking owner.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's amazing. I just got
better than the
J-Lo.
Better than the fucking Wilbon.
Oh my God, do you know how much? I mean, I would take like pretty much anyone to buy the Mets right now. When we had the Madoffs owning us for a while, but I will take A-Rod and I will take J-Lo and all the new minority guys, Brian Urlacher, Bradley Beal, all these guys, Travis Kelce, they all put the bid in with A-Rod. Now, here's my issue with A-Rod. I'm glad you brought up A-Rod. What is your guys' thoughts on A-Rod's comments over the last couple of days? A-Rod came out now.
He's against players asking for more money when he wanted to get more money while he was a player.
Wait, he's saying that there basically should be a cap. He didn't want to say those exact words, but he said there should be a cap. The guy
did he say that when he was a player? No.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. He made $480 million as a player because there was no cap. Now, thinking from the owners, he's saying things different. Now,
he wants to suck the dicks of the owners so he can own a team.
Yes and no. I think he is right. If the sport wants to grow, because the way it's going now, you can't give one guy $44 million and the other guy $250,000 on one team. Like that's just there's a competitive balance where for a fact coming into the baseball season, there's 10 to 12 teams that have a 0% chance of making the playoffs. 0%, like zero. Like, and I'm talking I'm from a big market city, New York, but I can tell you that there's the Marlins have no chance, the Orioles have no chance, the Pirates have no chance. It doesn't mean you could be like the Rays, and you could be a small market $40 million payroll and make the playoffs. You can. It's possible, but you have to do everything right. You have to draft right. You have to get lucky on free agents. You have to get people to give up people on trades for whatever reason and hope that they click. And for the Rays, it worked last year. Once in a while for the Oakland A's, it works. But these teams, have zero chance pretty much every year. And if you're a team like the Texas Rangers, say you're a team in the middle that can afford, I could give someone a $40 million a year contract, but now I can't pay anybody else, and all of a sudden everything goes down.
You're arguing the wrong thing. Those points make sense, but it's not right for A-Rod to make that argument when he was a player and arguing for more money and then saying it should be capped.
But he's not representing the players. He's representing the sport right now.
Right, but he was a player, so we're taking that into account.
And he's saying this was not good for the sport. He's saying it helped my bank account.
So then he's a fucking hypocrite piece of shit, like he's always been.
I was gonna say, what's new about A-Rod?
Yeah, what's new with A-Rod? First of all, but what should he have done? Not taking the money? When you're in the position, sure, and of course the players' union, the players are going to say the same thing. You're saying, like, you took the money. He's like, I absolutely did it. If you could take it, but you shouldn't be able to take it. And he's saying I shouldn't have been able to take it. And I don't.
A-Rod is just somebody I've always wanted to just like. If you could backhand somebody, A-Rod is probably the one person I would want to backhand.
He was the Yankee that I loved for a decade when everyone was hating him in New York. I'm like, why do you all hate on this guy? You gotta.
God, I loved every time the Boston Red Sox, not the Black Sox, threw at him every single time. I loved every time the Red Sox would throw at him.
His fight with Baratek was pretty awesome. I like that one a lot. His little bitch slap at first base, that was a little, I don't know about that one, but he had some moments. I don't know. I think him coming to the Mets would change the organization.
Yeah, I've driven by Citi Field. It's a shit show, so good luck for you guys.
What's a shit show? Citi Field?
Yeah, it's
a gorgeous stadium. What are you talking
about? No, it's not. The outfield, we've talked about this. Your outfield is garbage.
Why? Because it's too deep for you to hit a home run? Well, I
No,
don't
we hit home runs. They just don't look like home runs because you have like some weird netting around the outfield that doesn't make any sense.
It's a black wall, so you see the white ball, bro.
It's for the cute apple to come up when the big baseball man is not walking around.
Exactly.
I'm really sad I didn't get to see Yankees Field because that actually is probably more important than Citi Field because the Mets don't matter. The Mets don't matter at all.
The old Yankee Stadium was the one that mattered.
Yeah, that was the one that mattered.
If you want to compare old Yankee Stadium to anything the Mets have, it's not a comparison. That stadium is.
Yeah, the new stadiums don't touch the old stadiums for what that's worth.
And Shea Stadium was a shit show. Don't get me wrong. That was one of the worst built stadiums in the history of sports.
That was a piece of garbage.
I'll sit on my seats next episode. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit on my Shea seats next episode.
The new Citi Field is worlds better than the old Shea Stadium.
But isn't the Yankees and the old one? They used to let out like onto the street, right? It was basically in the city. It's still in the city, right?
Yeah. The parking lot. Both stadiums are right where they've been. But you're a Dodgers fan. You have one of the bottom 5 stadiums.
The stadium, our Dodger Stadium is fucking terrible. Don't drive up. Don't drive up there. You're gonna take 3 hours to get fucking out.
And get shot. But
no, you won't get shot. You'll get punched in the face. It's fine. It's fine.
And it's one of the 3 worst stadiums in all of baseball, probably with Oakland A's, I would say.
It's not the 3. Where is this coming from?
I'm trying to name 3. Give me 3 stadiums that are worse. I've got Tampa Bay, Oakland, and the Dodgers. If you could give me What's worse?
Legendary Dodger Stadium, which is one of the oldest standing ballparks. No, you're full of shit.
No, legendary is where they played at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. This is not legendary and like
you're being a hater now.
No,
Edison Field down the road is just as Angels Field is fucking terrible.
It's nice. I've been to both. It's nicer than Dodger Stadium.
It's easier to get to.
No, forget about driving. Once you're in the stadium, you're crazy. He's crazy.
You're full of shit. You're full of shit.
Now, you've got some beautiful stadiums. You've got San Francisco. You've got Seattle. You've got some state-of-the-art. Atlanta's got a beautiful new stadium. You've got some silly stadiums like Miami that are brand new, but they just look like an aquarium. I don't know what's going on down there. But no, you can't. You can mess with the Mets because they're garbage. You can mess with their ownership because they're beyond garbage. The front office, usually garbage. Our minor league system, pretty crappy for the most part. Our stadium, fucking awesome. And we have a Shake Shack in our stadium, and we've got the best $9 hot dogs in town. So don't even start, okay?
And a great selection of dipping sauces, but.
All right. So,
you want to say here?
What's that?
You have anything else you want to say here before we wrap up?
Final thoughts? Is that what you're asking me? Yeah, I got a final thought. Basketball, this year bubble we're talking about, and this is going to stir the pot up a little bit, and we could talk about this at a later date. But my final thought is Eastern Conference Finals. Celtics beat the Bucks. Western Conference Finals. Thunder beat the Lakers. NBA championship.
Thunder? Did you just say the Thunder?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not the
Did you say the Thunder?
Not the Thunder. The Rockets. I'm sorry.
Not the Chicago Black Sox.
Not the Black Sox. The Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets.
Is this assuming they have Russell Westbrook?
Yes, because they're going to have Westbrook and they're going to have Harden and they're going to win the championship in the shortened season, and that's how the bubble's going to play out. That's my final thought.
D'Antoni is going to go out on top like Phil Jackson?
And they're going to beat the Celtics. That's going to be like, what? Who? Huh? What?
I like it.
I will say D'Antoni was robbed on the year the Suns lost to the Spurs when Robert Horry, who was a Laker, fuck Robert Horry, he hip checked Steve Nash. What?
Fuck Big Shot Bob, you just said?
What?
Did you just disrespect Big Shot Bob?
Robert Horry?
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking hard checked Steve Nash, and it got Amari thrown out of the game, and it cost the Suns the series, in my opinion. But I will say that it's either going to be the Lakers or the Pelicans.
The Pelicans?
Pelicans.
Without Zion? What the? Okay.
Zion's going to come back. I will guarantee you he's going to come back.
We got to guarantee, folks. We got to guarantee.
Wow.
Jordan, I got a question for you. Jordan,
wow.
How many rings does Big Shot Bob have? I know he's got.
I got 620 hot dogs on that not happening.
I mean, he's got at least 6 rings.
Well, he has more than 6.
It's 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah. It's
Big
a lot.
Bob is not Big Shot. Get out of here, John. What's your? Give me a final take over there, Jordan. After that, look at that look of just bewilderment on his face. He doesn't even know what
I'm just so shocked about the Pelicans. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I know.
I watch. I bet watch, guys.
What am I watching? They might not even make the playoffs. They're the 9th seed. But is it because of your boy Lonzo Ball, like LA's finest, or is it
brand just makes it to the top?
I'm not saying anything else besides watch.
Okay.
Watch.
Well, I have a few things. I want to touch on the best players to not make a to not get a ring. You said Randy Moss. I was actually going to mention T.O. I personally think T.O. is better than Moss. Because when you look at the numbers, it's very, very different. Moss was pretty good, but his drop-off, the teams that he went from, it just didn't work out. Whereas, I mean, he played for the Titans. He played for the Raiders. He went back to the Vikings. What happened there? So I definitely have to mention T.O., one of the best I would say third best receiver of all time. He was second, but now Fitz just keeps breaking records. So.
Jordan, is your number one Jerry Rice or not? Because otherwise your opinion is wrong.
Obviously, Jerry Rice. Oh,
okay.
Always.
Right.
Always. Again,
that's an easier question than who's the best shooting guard of all time in basketball. I think it's an easier question to say who's the best wide receiver in football because there's no close second.
He's arguably the best football player of all time, honestly, with his numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty crazy.
Absolutely.
But I'll have the I'm pretty confident the Lakers are going to do it again, but I personally want to see a Kawhi 2-peat. That's what I want to see.
What about
he's still on the He's on the Raptors, right?
Yeah, right. He's on the Clippers. He's a Clipper.
Yeah, Clipper.
Oh, he went to the Clippers. Sorry.
He was on
the Raptors before.
He ain't on the Pelicans.
No.
Right.
Clark, you're laughing. Everybody watch. The Pelicans are going to make a run. I guarantee it.
When? This year? They have 8 games. They get the Lakers in the first round. Like, what are they going to –
I know.
So you're telling me Lakers are out in the first round losing to an 8 seed?
No, I'm saying the Lakers are going to beat them, but the Pelicans will get there. The Pelicans are good for –
That's not what you said. That's not what you said. You just changed your take in like 5 seconds.
Well, I can't have two of they're going to fight. They're going to play each other, obviously.
You told me to watch. you're telling me to watch them lose in the first round. What is that?
They're going to make it there, though.
No, I don't understand now. Clax, what are we watching?
Watch it.
All right, I'm changing my hot take. I'm getting away from basketball. I do believe that the Celtics have the best chance coming out of the East, even more than the Bucks for some reason. I don't know why I've been feeling that. My gut feeling's been saying it the whole time. The coaching is amazing. No disrespect to Coach Boone in Milwaukee. But my take's going to be about baseball. And I want to do something I don't know if I've ever done before, but I'm about to give some love. I've never done this before for a fact. I'm going to give some love to the federal government of Canada. Canada decided we're not letting you Americans with your COVID come into our country and get us sick. So you Blue Jays can go become the Buffalo Blue Jays if you choose.
Buffalo Blue Jays, 585. 585 area
And
code.
the best thing was they said, good luck, because they're not letting us in. And you know what? It is the smartest thing they can do. Their country's numbers are like.
You know what's bullshit about that, Ethan? You know what's bullshit is that they said if they make the postseason, we'll consider them coming back. The government said that they would if they make it to the postseason, they would consider games at Rogers Center again, which is bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That actually seems.
I think they should move them into New York. If the Blue Jays do, they should either go to City or our Yankee Stadium, because, I mean, like.
Why?
Well, why go back to Toronto?
They're not going to Toronto. They're going to play in their spring in their AAA.
They're not. If say the Blue Jays go to the World Series, it's not happening in Buffalo, fucking New York.
It 100% will be. And if the Arizona Diamondbacks make it to the World Series, it's not going to happen in Arizona because our whole state's going to be.
You think how is Buffalo weather in October or November? Yeah, it's not baseball weather.
Listen, I don't make these decisions. This
is a very good point.
There is no base. It ends in October anyway, so it's not going to November. But like I said, it has to get that far.
How is October weather in Rochester? How is weather in Rochester right now?
Let's keep Rochester out of the equation. We want to talk about this.
My fiance is from Rochester. I talk so much shit about it.
I know. Thank God she doesn't have the silly accent. But Joe, you know that Rochester accent. No.
Rochester.
We're not talking about Rochester. I can't do that right now. So that's it. So we're going to have our social media up next week. We've got some things being done. I don't know all the technical IT words for it, but we'll have this on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, everywhere else. I think there's like 12 different platforms we're on right now. So get the audio. These guys got good-looking faces. If you want to see their faces, YouTube, all fired up. You can find us there. You obviously did if you're looking at us right now. Other than that, we'll have our Insta up, Snapchat, Twitter. I don't do the Twitter, so I'll have to have one of these guys do all the tweeting, or hopefully I have a personal tweeter. We'll see how that works out.
One of our kids can.
I was just going to say that.
For sure. One last shout out. Shout out to the Chow.
Hey.
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 Now come back to us one day. We're gonna have some special guests coming up soon. Thank you for joining us. Fired up. Where's my exit music? Dun, 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 dun.